So I've had a bad habit of hyperfixating on a thing or hobby and then kind of dropping it after a while. I don't think I need to go into a ton of detail about how ADHD works, because I think most of you know, but this little hobby wheel thingy is actually a really good experiment for staying power. After all, if it actually sticks around to have a permanent piece of the pie on the hobby wheel, then that says something, I think. So after all of the hype and after all of the ooh shiny wears down, am I still playing Daggerheart? For those new, I played with the idea of merging DC-20 and Daggerheart. I mean literally played. I did a solo run and a one-shot. And the conclusion I came to was that the benefits for me were too few. Basically, I just liked vanilla Daggerheart, so why change it? Likewise, I'm also coming off of a year, of, let's call it TTRPG overload. After the first DC-20 video, I got invites to play, I ran like 4 groups here and there, only 4 simultaneously, more if you count those that are no longer running. I went through books and videos, I went through the channel. Basically, I submerged myself in TTRPGs, namely DC-20, for, well, too long. I broke the hobby wheel, and it was kind of breaking me too. And paradoxically, Daggerheart's release broke the brokenness. It not only was a whole new hype train for me, but it prompted me to take a step back actually, and ask what I really love about TTRPGs. But was it for real or just a new shiny? Or was it just the startling sound that knocks you out of doom scrolling so you stop, take a look around, and realize what time it is and what room you're in? Or D, all of the above. Insert clip montage here of channels everywhere referring to Daggerheart as narrative first, narrative focused, a narrative, and then stop. Cause Daggerheart is not any more narrative than any other TTRPG, really. It has classes, subclasses, spells, abilities, weapons, a character sheets, all the things that other systems have. It just remixes them, that's all. One of my favorite battles, and a subject more in another script, the release schedule got flipped around, but one of my favorite battles, the Misty story, the story of the green gem, well, that battle was so cool, and it was so narrative, and I had the monster die even when it had HP left technically because of the way the story worked out. Essentially a fight where one of the characters pulled out a MacGuffin and decided to stab it with an arrow instead of attacking the monster directly. That was just so cool, and I think story trumps rules, but that was in DC-20, that wasn't Daggerheart, so there's nothing stopping the narrative there. And after years of 5e, where I really didn't give much of a damn about whether the rules did or didn't serve my table, I just did what worked best, that sounds pretty narrative first to me. So I don't think Daggerheart should really be marketed as a narrative first game in that sense, just because it has plenty of crunch just like other games do, and nothing in other games inhibits the narrative in any way, it's just up to the DM. I just happen to like this particular remix, that's all. I like the cards, I think they're smart, I like the no initiative, which I was already starting to do in 5e anyways. I like the art and how the book is put together, and I kinda like the vibe, but truth be told, Daggerheart's just a system like any other system, really. I just happen to prefer it more, and actually, yeah, I'm still playing it. It has that staying power. And most of all, the players that I have left, not in a bad way, it was my choice, but the players still playing with me, they prefer this remix too, where we like rolling lots of dice, yes, even damage ones, and it just works for us. So yeah, even after the fire has burned down, namely the TTRPG fire, insert Minecraft hyperfixation at time of writing, I still play and prefer Daggerheart. So next up, some specific things in this remix that I like. Maybe even things to steal if you like them, but don't want to leave another system. So first, I really do like the spotlight system. I already have a video before talking about dropping initiative, and my enjoyment of the spotlight system is proof that I was on the right track for my table with that. Tactics are dynamic and they change, and it's a little harder to fall asleep at the table when you've no clue whose turn is next. We just love it. 2, the cards. I like them a lot. It also seems like a good business move, but I actually just really like them as for building, playing, and for many reasons. To start, they clean up the character sheet. There's just so much more room when you're not trying to stuff at least 20 different features plus descriptions on the sheet itself. And it also kind of makes sense because features or spells or abilities are often what you're referencing and what you're picking from in combat. So having a literal hand of cards to play from, I think really works in the context of features and spells and such. Some players have taken to getting binder sheets, like the trading card holders for their cards, and then it's kind of the same as a second character sheet. Or they just copy and paste from the PDF into a doc and then poof, character sheet, custom made. It also gives a bit of a tactile feel for those that love it, like me. Alright, number 3, the monster stat blocks. Oh my gosh, yes please. Give me more critter blocks where I have like 2 lines of relevant text and then features to use. Yays. I love, love, love the smaller, more compact character or monster stat blocks. Alright, next up, some stuff I'm excited for, but I won't list as my fave exactly, which is environments. Most people say that environments are their favorite. I'm still struggling to kind of incorporate them and use them because they're so new. So I'm not familiar enough with them to really say that it's a favorite, but I like the idea of it. I like the idea of the stat blocks, namely the types like social, exploration, traversal, and events. And this goes right alongside the countdown timers. Another thing I'm excited about, but still learning how to implement really. Countdown timers are not new at all, but this was the first time that I encountered them in a TTRPG in this way, and it made me have a fond association with the system specifically. But basically, these two things, countdown timers and environments, combine to give you a lot of extra things for the players. Like if you want to narrate your way through a tense negotiation, great, have your players narrate the whole thing, no dice even needed if they're really into that. Or you can roll, but it's more interesting and there's more going on than just a basic 1 persuasion check, there's the negotiation. At one point I will give to DC 20, however, is the concept of the prime though. In Daggerheart, the stats are much less important, really, but the fact that DC 20 unlocks the stats so that it reps your character concept over a specific class alignment, that's a huge win for me. I think the downside of keeping the stats so class locked is minimized in Daggerheart based on the fact that the stats are so kind of meaningless, like they don't carry much weight. So it's a downside, but it's like a smaller downside. The classes in Daggerheart are way more open besides, with the different domain card picking and all of that stuff. I like the other features. I actually like the experiences. I like the emphasis in the core rulebook on reskinning. I actually like the damages, or the damage rolls, and though I do get some of the complaints about it, I actually like the damage banding. So there's plenty I like about this particular remix, and I love it, and I'm happy to share that enthusiasm with you guys. And if you don't like Daggerheart, that's totally fine. You play what you want to play. No judgment here. Anyways, I just thought I'd share some enthusiasm with you guys, and thanks so much for watching, and until next time.